Today we'll be discussing on the topic of Kaal Sarp Dosha. Again, many people in India specifically are afraid to have this dosha in the horoscope. See, astrologically speaking, it means when all the planets are hemmed between the imaginary planets Rahu and Ketu, it forms the Kaal Sarp Dosha. And people believe, I've seen many pundits talking about it, and they say that you must have killed some snake in your previous birth, because of that you are having this dosha in the chart. But actually millions of people have this in the chart. So that doesn't mean those millions of people have gone down to kill a snake and that is why they have this in their horoscope. Its actual means is that definitely something has been done which was not correct in the previous birth, for which you are going to pay in this birth. But along with that, it has lots of plus also in it, which we need to realize and understand. In this whole talk about this Kaal Sarp Dosha, I am going to make you understand what are the plus and minus that this Kaal Sarp Dosha can give you if at all you have it in your horoscope. Now let's understand what happens when you are having this Kaal Sarp Dosha in the horoscope. Now when you have this Kaal Sarp Dosha in the horoscope, definitely you have to work more harder. You will have to face many failures before you get introduced to success in your life. Probably this actually makes you a little bit more competitive, a little bit more, it teaches you patience and perseverance, which is a work of Saturn and Rahu and Ketu sometimes. So this actually, where it gives you hardship, it works like snake and ladder, where the snake bites you and you come down to zero, and then definitely it sometimes provides you the ladder and you reach to the highest point without much effort. As we have seen several personality having this, we have Jawaharlal Nehru having it in the 12th house, we have Nelson Mandela also possessing it, we have Sachin Tendulkar having it in the 5th house, we have Margaret Thatcher having it in the 10th house. Apart from that, we have seen Dhirubhai Ambani having it in the 3rd house. Now let's understand what happens when this Kaal Sarp Dosha is in your 1st house. That means you have Rahu in the ascendant and Ketu in the 7th house. Now when you have Rahu in the ascendant, it makes you a very very rich person with a big desire, with big mansions, and definitely it also blesses you with a wife who is very caring and loving. But the negative impact of this dosha is that you may suffer from black magic, you may suffer from ill health off and you may have a divorce as well. Let's move on to the second type, when Rahu is in the 2nd house and Ketu in your 8th house. Now when Rahu is in your 2nd house, it definitely blesses you with good business. You are fond of jewelry, you are fond of riches and wealth, and you acquire it during your lifetime, and you are highly intuitive as well. But the negative impact of this Rahu and this placement of Ketu is that you may be troubled by your in-laws. You may be taking unethical means to achieve those jewelry, those wealth and that money. Let's move on to the 3rd type, where Rahu is in the 3rd house and the Ketu in the 9th house. When you have the Rahu in the 3rd and Ketu in the 9th house, you are highly spiritual and complete. You are a person who professes the religion in the true means, and you are excellent at mass media communication. Excellent writers are formed out of it, excellent businessmen are formed out of it. But the negative impact of this Rahu and Ketu is that you can definitely go in the wrong ways of professing the religion, doing black magic, or you can suffer due to your siblings. Rahu in the 4th and Ketu in the 10th house. Rahu in the 4th house will bless you with huge buildings and mansions and big cars, and will give you a profession which can be related to abroad. And definitely it will also make you have very congenial relationship with your seniors. But the negative impact would be that you will take a very very long time to settle, you will have lots of responsibilities of home, and you may change maybe 2 to 3 professions before you settle down with your final one. Now coming down to the Rahu in the 5th and Ketu in the 11th house. Rahu in the 5th house would make you an enormous star. It may bless you with enormous artistic talent, and it may bless you with lots of fan following and huge wealth, and you become a millionaire and whatnot. But the negative impact of this Kaal Sarp is that it may be depriving you from the education, the basic education. You may just drop down after a few years of education. It may also make you suffer, you may lose money all of a sudden, and you may be having a problem with your social circle. Now move on to the Rahu in the 6th and Ketu in the 12th house. When Rahu is in the 6th house and the Ketu is in the 12th house, it can make you a very, very sympathetic person who works for the society. You can do huge donations also. But the negative impact of this Rahu is that you may suffer from court cases, you may suffer from imprisonment, you may suffer from long-term diseases also. Apart from that, moving on to the next, when Rahu is in the 7th house and Ketu is in the ascendant. When Rahu is in the 7th house, it blesses you with a complete talent of business. You travel far and wide for business. You may marry also abroad, you may work also abroad, and you may have a ingenuine, from childhood you may have intuitive level high. But the negative impact of this is that you may go for wrong relationship even after marriage. You may do illegal business also. Moving on to Rahu in the 8th house and Ketu in the 2nd house. Rahu in the 8th house actually makes you have big desires of huge wealth again, and definitely tells you or motivates you and gives you a sixth sense to achieve it. Apart from that, it makes you a very good inventor like Einstein. But the negative impact of this Rahu is that again you can go for a huge amount of secret. You may have a tendency of secrecy and you may hide lots of black money along with it. Now Rahu in the 9th and Ketu in the 3rd house. When Rahu is in the 9th house, you are a completely spiritual person who is totally sublime in the tendencies, and you do your puja, part, everything very regularly. Along with that, you are blessed with the excellent astronomical or mathematical calculation spirit. Apart from that, you are a very good communicator. But the negative impact is that you may again suffer from black magic, and in due course of time your siblings may be a great trouble for you. Now moving on to the next, where Rahu is in the 10th house and Ketu is in the 4th house. Now when Rahu is in the 10th house, you can definitely become a very good politician. Apart from that, you can definitely earn a foreign income for yourself, and this is something which will give you the most highest position in the society. But the negative impact of this Rahu is that in the due course of time you may lose your way, and you may use whatever methods to earn those positions or to maintain that position. Moving on to the Rahu in the 11th and Ketu in the 5th house. Rahu in the 11th house will definitely award you during their whole cycle of your profession, and these people are very eager and they are awarded also off and on for their work. Apart from that, they are born rich people, I have seen, and in the due course of time, the negative impact of this Rahu is that you will be cheated by your own friend circle, you will be cheated by your own known people, and specifically sometimes even your elder brother can snatch away your business. Moving on to the last part, where Rahu is in the 12th house and Ketu is in the 6th house. When Rahu goes to the 12th house, it definitely gives you an instinct to move out of your country. It takes you out of the country, and it definitely gives you a talent where you can show your more expertise out of your own motherland, and this also blesses you with lots of donations. But the negative impact of this Rahu is that you can suffer from imprisonment, you can suffer from defamation, and you can also suffer from black magic.